So just came up short there. They got a really good team. The way Braxton plays, and the runaround's a tough dude. Made a bunch of plays on us. We're back. Big Carlos hit it downhill. So gave up some points, but we battled offensively. A little off, but close. We're getting there. Made another play in special teams. So I appreciate. I got a lot of respect for our kids and the way they're fighting, the way they're coming. It's just disappointing to be short again. That is a good football team we played. I think they do things in a great way. So I appreciate our kids fighting and competing with them. We got to find ways to get W's. We're close. We'll just keep plugging at it, keep working at it as we keep moving forward. So being close ain't good enough though. So anyway, what questions we got?
What do you think of the offense? I think it was the most points Indiana's ever had against a top 10 team. What do you think about the way the offense plays, especially their?
It was 3 points, not enough. Well, 4 points. I thought they struggled a little bit early. We went and 8 at the end just because you're down 3 scores, give them a little bit of work, and then get hot and make a play and get an offside kick. And he had a couple of nice drives, but Cam, if we don't have some drops in the first half, Cam's gonna be a little bit better. Didn't think he was horrible. We didn't have an interception. We were lucky. They dropped a couple. I think Cam had one at the end, and Nate had one at the end. So Cam had one earlier. So my deal is if you can't, it's a team game. So if you can't score, they got to hold them to 2 or 3. And if they can't stop them, you got to score. 52. Was what it needed tonight. So I never look at, hey, you scored. It's never offense against defense. It's the dynamic of putting it together. And sometimes your offense is going to struggle and your defense and special teams need to cover. Sometimes your defense is going to struggle and your offense has to cover. And so it's just, again, we're not into stats of most points and not getting a W or something. So that's, so we can throw that one out. We don't want to be known for that.
Coach,
good question, but keep that in positive.
Coach, the time of possession after the third quarter was 2-1 in favor of Ohio State, and 4 of your first 5 drives were less than a minute long. So, to what degree, if any, do you feel like fatigue wore down your defenders?
A little bit. Third down stops, our first 2 or 3 and outs. And they got a pretty good defense now. They just kind of initially was playing base, and same time in our first 2 drives we had 2 drops. We had a wide open guy on a boot pass play too that we just missed a guy. So of our first 6 plays, we had 2 drops that moved the chains and a wide open guy that we just missed. And that's going to happen when you got kids playing. You're going to be off, but Ohio State's going to do a great job running the ball. A lot of their pass game comes off of play action, so it's high percentage. So the clock's going to move. We're right now, without being dominating with big linemen or tight ends or big backs and not having a running quarterback, we got to make our plays a little bit more in space throwing, and that just leads to a formula where, the numbers are off. But when you look at time of possession, they had 79 plays and we had 78. So if we're having a home run derby, they got one more swing than we did, and so it's really about snaps and plays. And when they're milking the clock and running, what's the time of possession? They had the ball for 13 more minutes, got one more snap. So in some ways, I think that's why their defense fatigued, because you're repping plays fast and they got tired as well. So that time of possession is always when the clock's running. The only thing I like about time of possession was that minute and a half we got off the end of the first half, because we were just trying to get to the locker room. So I appreciate the way that first half ended.
Coach, what positive things do you take away from this game to make it better next week?
I think our team has shown repeatedly the way we came back game 2, the way we battled game 2 when Trey got hurt, the way we came back game 3, second half at Northwestern, the way we competed last week, this week. I think our team believes in itself, and they keep playing. They play hard. They keep coming. We're not getting results we want, and we don't want to be, like the Old Testament with a group that was wandering in the desert and started doubting things. We're going to keep coming. We're going to stay on track. We're going to keep doing what we're doing, because what we're doing is working. We don't have results yet, but what we're doing is gaining. What we're doing is working, and we're challenging some seniors and leaders to keep this thing going, because we're close to having some success. And it's not because we had a close score. We've had repeated. We've had 3 weeks in a row where we've had a kickoff return, then we've had a onside kick, and today a block punt, where we have scored points in 3 different special teams. You can probably go back a long time if we're doing stats over there. And when's the last time we had 3 straight games of special team scores in 3 different phases? That's showing to me the team is getting better. So we're getting better. We Got to keep working, and even when we start having W's, you got to keep working when you're getting W's. We're gaining on it when we're not having game success, and when we start having game success, we got to keep gaining on it. Because our whole deal is teaching these guys every day, get a little bit better, and it's not just on the field. Get a little bit better, everything you're doing, and keep coming every day.
You mentioned getting a little bit better. What do you feel like you improved on the offensive side of the ball this week as opposed to last week against Michigan State?
Well, again, we still don't, we only had 24 rushes for 129, so the yards per, okay, you're pushing 5 yards, but we got to keep getting run game going. We're a little limited there. The percentages were 28 and 54. That's got to be in the 2 out of 3. If you look at that, that's 28 and 24. That's 52 positive plays. So 52 times we move the ball down the field, and you want to get that number pushing 60, 65, 70. So when you're throwing the ball, you need to throw it high percentages, or you go 3 and out, you don't have time of possession. So we're coming, the line's battling. I mean, it's 2 weeks in a row. You got a freshman left tackle out there playing against some pretty good defensive guys. We're protecting the quarterback. We got to keep the run game going. We got to keep staying physical. I still think the offense is in the first half. No disrespect, that's a great defense. We stopped ourselves, and I kind of got after the offense a little bit. The only thing stopping us is us. We got to move past beating ourselves. So, offense is coming, team's coming. We still have work to do.
Tackling, good at times, bad at times. What's your evaluation of it?
It's the same. I actually saw something today because I kind of follow what my coach is saying. Coach Kelly's just saying like we don't work on it. Sometimes personnel. In space, that guy made a guy miss. It's credit to the big back running through guy or guy that can make you miss. I mean, that number 5 has made a bunch of good players look bad. Week after week. And like I said, I think that's one special player. He, for a young guy, is as calm with his demeanor of any of those really good quarterbacks. So I have a lot of respect for Braxton. That offensive line is really getting better. So they get those guys coming downhill, coming fast, and you're going to make some guys miss. Same time, we got some offensive guys making some guys miss too. So it's just a dynamic. There's some good offensive players. They're playing a little bit more of a running style, but when you can make people get in space, you can expose some guys, and that's what they did to us a little bit, and you saw that at Northwestern. That's a dynamic also. You got to give credit to those guys being good players. It's always easy to say, the best thing to do is go to a Little League game or a junior high or JV game and listen to some parent or coach say, block somebody. So like you always say, we'll tackle somebody. Well, it's kind of hard. Those guys are pretty good running around. It's just, ain't like you just always make the tackle. Those are good players. So we keep working on it. But it is a dynamic of college football. Tackling has decreased year after year, and that's why there's not as many great defenses as there used to be.
Kevin, did you say you quit nagging when you were down 15?
It was 18. We thought, 5 minutes, we're still going. Matter of fact, we lined up the punt. I said, what am I punting for? I said, what do you guys think? They said, let's go for it. We're like, it's like, hey, we're trying to, keep it where we don't lose bad or lose by as much. What is the difference between losing and not losing as much? If you lose, you lose. So, so I'm like, what am I thinking? That breaks everything I'm back. So, we're just trying to get him some work. He got hot. Again, those guys have been very, very close. I thought, again, early day, Camp played well enough, didn't deserve to come out, as far as what he was doing. But I will say this, the way those 2 guys are practicing, there's really no separation, except Cam has been here a little bit longer than they are. That's the only separation.
Absolutely, one more.
Coach, you mentioned earlier in the week wanting to get more from Shane when he had a big play today and some other nice plays. Did you feel like he started to take that step this week?
Well, I hope he's from Ohio, got some buddies over there, and he's a bunch of Glenville kids, he knows a lot of those guys well. I think our team did. I was really worried, and I told the team today, I said, I read a line in his prayer, I said, don't you worry, let me do that. You guys need to go play and attack, and trust yourself and get after it. But I was concerned, as hard as we played last week, not because could we dig deep and come play hard again? Because I thought our guys really flew around and played at a pretty high level last week. And I didn't know if we could fuel that tank up again, pin our ears back and go. And we were a little bit off in the first half, but not just Shane Wynn coming. I think we're getting better because I saw a team give a really strong effort against a good football team, playing uphill all day, got behind, but a lot of resiliency, a lot of fight, and those guys kept coming. And I take a lot of pride. I respect our players. That's why I fight for them. I respect them, and I love them because those guys are giving us a pretty good go. those practices we're having are pretty good. Like I say, the only upset, I was coming through today and somebody's talking about an upset in the walk or a shock. And I told the team, the only thing upsetting or the only thing shocking is if we don't come play hard. Because that's what we're going to do. We're going to play 60 minutes, we're going to play 4 quarters, and we're going to keep coming. And that's what we're building. I think our kids are believing it. But until we get W's, it's all smoke and mirrors, and it's all feel-good fluff. So we got to move forward. And it's going to be hard as heck going to Annapolis, but we'll talk about that next week, okay? Thanks.
Thank you.